Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative. This is going to be fun. We haven't done this in a while. We haven't had a hockey interview in a while on Popternative. We're going to snap our fingers, and the 2022 NHL draft will be upon us. And we're speaking to a defenseman who played with the North Bay Battalion in the OHL this year. Ty Nelson is back with us. Welcome back to the show, man. It's so good to see you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. You know, your rookie year, but kind of technically not really a rookie year. You went first overall 2 years ago. Pandemic happened. You play in the OHL, 51 points as a defenseman. I'm wondering if you kind of look at the current state of the National Hockey League now with like Cale Makar, Adam Fox, these like defensemen that are like racking up these points and putting up a lot of offense. Does it kind of make you go like, yeah, like this is good at all? Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a big thing too of why I started playing defense is because the way the game's changing, right? The smaller defenseman who is that offensive talented guy that can play in the NHL now.
Yeah, absolutely. You got a lot of power play time. You were kind of quarterbacking a lot of the power plays in North Bay. Were you surprised that right out of the bat, your first year, you were going to be kind of relied on a lot on the peeper?
I mean, for myself, it was kind of working my way onto that.
Yeah.
And just, I knew obviously I had to work for everything that I was getting, and that's something that I love, and that's the way I play. So I had an expectation that I was going to be playing Peeper, but I never knew it was going to be PP1. But yeah. I mean, I had that confidence that I could be playing PP1.
Yeah,
so I came in with that confidence.
It's one of those things too, where you're a humble guy and everything, but it's like, you know, getting like power play time and like quarterbacking it and kind of like the coach revolving kind of plays around you, I feel like is a little bit of an overwhelming thing, right? Like I don't think you can escape that.
No, but I mean, for myself, I've always done that, and I've always been that player. So I mean, I was used to it. So
absolutely. You went first overall in the OHL draft 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, 2020.
2 seasons. Yeah, absolutely. Pandemic is just kind of like my dates. It's there. It's always going to be there. In your pro career, you went first overall. Is it one of those simple things if you just don't think about it much or you just play your game? Because it's always going to be there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, like you said, it's always there. But I mean, for myself, I just kind of put it in the back of my mind and just go out there, play the game, and have fun.
There's been a lot of time not playing hockey in the last couple of years. There's been a lot of times where you have to pass the time and do a lot of things. We do a lot of pop culture interviews here. So I wanted to kind of switch gears a little bit. Like, what have you been watching? What have your friends been recommending you, teammates? Like, what have you been watching or like playing? Because I know you guys are big video game fans. Like, what can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, for me is I just finished Ozarks. Mm-hmm. That was fantastic. Oh, yeah. Such a great series. And then obviously Yellowstone. Finished that up a couple weeks ago, and then The Ranch. Those three are just the recent ones.
The Westerns are getting pretty popular, but they've always been kind of popular and everything. But like, I find it interesting because I was interviewing some people about this recently. They're making more of them because people are watching them and everything. Like Yellowstone have you watched the spinoff 1883 yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, it's pretty good.
Okay, I gotta get on that.
It's good. What do you like about the Western genre?
I don't know. I mean, for myself, I'm a big country guy, and always been attracted to that sort of stuff. And then I watched The Ranch, and it's just that show is possibly the funniest show I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. And Sam Elliott just reminds me so much of my grandfather in the show, so I kind of have that emotional connection to it. Mm-hmm. And then even just Yellowstone, how like cool like the ranching part of it is. Like, I mean, for me, obviously, I want to be a hockey player, but like I look at that stuff, I'm like, man, that's pretty sick. Like, you get to ride horses every day. Like,
have you had a chance? I'm sure you know about it. I don't know if you've watched it. Have you watched or heard about the Letterkenny spinoff Shoresy yet?
I've heard about it. I've watched TikToks on it. I have yet to see the show.
You've dabbled in the Letterkenny here and there, though.
Oh yeah.
So I will tell you this: Shoresy, it's a hockey show. Like, it is about hockey. You know how Letterkenny, like, it's around, they have the players. This is like about a hockey team.
good. I mean, I think it's filmed out of Sudbury Arena, to be honest with you. Yeah.
But it's like it literally is a hockey show. Like that's what blows my mind. Like it's one of those things where I'm like, because I grew up, Mighty Ducks, that was like my stuff, right? And I'm watching this show and I'm like, when's the last time there was like a legit like hockey show? Like it's about a senior A team in Sudbury, and Shorzy just recruits all these players, and it's really, really good. You should check it out. It's pretty funny.
Absolutely.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, no, it's interesting about the yellow like stone and everything. You did the NHL Combine.
Yep.
And people, I'm getting sick and tired of reading about how the Wingate sucked. Like we know it sucks. Like I don't want to hear about it. I don't want all the headlines to be like Wingate. Like I know about it. Like it sucks. Yeah. But like, why is that the headline every year? Like we get it. It sucks.
I mean, for me personally, I didn't partake in the Wingate. Okay. I wasn't.
But you had some colleagues that you knew some players that did.
Yeah, like when they said they were doing it, it's like doing it was fine, but as soon as you're done, you get like rushed with like a wave of just like, I'm gonna puke, I'm gonna die. So
it was like the aftermath. Yeah.
It's the aftermath. Yeah. Like, but like for us, like I did the VO2 max, and I think for me, like I've done the Wingate before. The VO2 max is way harder.
Yeah.
Like it's a way longer, and then you're going as hard as you can. And you got that mask on; it gets hard to breathe.
They did it like it was, like you were at like they did. It was like it wasn't virtual, right? Like it was the Combine this year.
Yeah.
Were your interviews also in person with the teams?
Yep. Yeah.
How did those go? How many interviews? How many round interviews would you say you did?
I think I had 16.
Okay.
And yeah, they were fantastic. Like some teams, like you walked in, there's maybe 2-3 guys, and then other teams you walked in, there's like 13, and it ranged. So I mean, you knew kind of how the interview was going to go with how many guys that are in there, more serious or.
Was there anyone ask you any pop culture questions? Like, what are you watching? Any of that or? Because I hear from because like last year, like 2 years ago, they started asking like different questions. It's not just hockey questions, right?
Yeah. No, I think I didn't really get asked about like any TV shows or anything like that, but music was a big one. Mm-hmm. Like what type of music and stuff we listen to.
And you're like country?
Yep. You know what?
Do you just say like country music? And they're like, cool. And then it's like the next question.
No, for me it's country, hip hop and rap when I'm working out, and then like I listen to everything. I mean, I get a dabble in some Italian music here and there, some Irish music, the 80s, all that fun sort of stuff.
Your Instagram handle is Kid Nelly. When did that kind of start? And do a lot of players on the team, like, is Nelly like your nickname? Is that like the alter? Is that like the alter ego a little bit?
Yeah. So for me, it's like my dad goes by Papa Nelly.
Yeah.
My Mama Nelly. So it kind of just runs in the family for that. Mm-hmm. And then yeah, the boys call me Nelly or Kid, one or the other.
I swear I'm not copying you on this one, but like, because this has been happening where I'm PD Beats. It's been like a year or two now where people like refer to like my parents as like Mama Beats and Papa Beats. Like that is a thing.
Absolutely.
Which is good. I don't know when last time you came on the show, it was like that Unreal panel with like a lot of players. You remember that?
Yeah, it was me, Seti, Solves. Yeah, all those boys.
Colton Smith.
Yeah.
Benny Boujol. That was a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a few of the boys on there.
Those are tough because you have to like figure out like what you're gonna ask, because there's so many, like there was a bunch of us on there, right? So like you have to know like who's gonna have a long answer, who's gonna have a short answer. They're stressful. Yeah, that's why I like the one-on-ones. They're stressful. Did it feel like that? Did you feel good kind of also going in the Combine knowing that it was just like you, not with like other players, it was just you talking to the teams? Like that helped too, right?
I think so, yeah. Like, like you're going in there, it's about you, right? And obviously like you're going to pump your teammates' tires. Like you always put your teams first, because if it weren't for them, you wouldn't be where you are today. So that's a big thing. Yep. And then, like you go in, it's just like, kid, it's you. Like you got to describe who you are as a player, your family, right? So it's kind of just a one-on-one basically, but there's obviously just more ears listening.
The NHL team that drafts Ty Nelson is not only going to get a physical offensive defenseman, but they're going to get a community guy. They're going to get a guy that really gives back. They're going to get a guy who's an advocate for a lot of important issues. That's something on the top of your mind when you are thinking about becoming like a pro athlete, right? The fact that you're going to be able to kind of have a bigger platform to give back to the community, because you're doing that at the junior level as well.
Absolutely. I think that's a big thing. Like, I'm a big autism awareness representative. Yeah. I don't think that's the right word, but yeah. And like I said, I try to use my platforms to support that, show support. And I think that's a huge thing. And especially being a semi-professional athlete right now, I have a bigger platform than probably some other kids of my age, and I can use that to benefit and help spread the word and things like that.
I think people don't realize that when you play in the OHL, you are technically a semi-pro athlete. I think that gets kind of left outside the shadows a little bit, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
it's very true. Ty, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's great catching up with you. All the best with it next month for the NHL draft. Just enjoy it. The Instagram is Kid Nelly.
89 still. Yeah,
absolutely. Thanks a lot, man. It was really great chatting with you. Seriously.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks. Appreciate it.
This has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative. Previous episodes. Till next time, this is Ty Nelson from the North Bay Battalion in the OHL and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.